Look at this. I got a lav on, a lavalier, a lapel mic, many different things. Trying new things. Hopefully this sounds good. Let's jump into it. What's up, Fin fans? Day 2, mandatory minicamp. This one is a long one. I have 6 pages. 2 of them are Brian Flores' press conference, and then the other 4 are play-by-plays. Again, let's see if this sucker works better. It gives me more hand motion, and I think it has a better sound quality, but you be the judge of that. But let's jump right into it. So we're gonna get into the Brian Flores, we're gonna get into play-by-play. I got a comment of the day, and then, yeah. So we're gonna start it off. Brian Flores talks about linebacker Hanks. He says he enjoys working with him, undrafted linebacker. He thinks he has some talent. Hopefully there's something there. I noticed that the Dolphins are really utilizing and really using these undrafted players. 1, there's a lot of holes for them to fill, but 2, they see a lot of talent. So we got ranked as one of the top teams with the undrafted players that we brought in. So I could see a good amount of these undrafted players making the team, and a good amount of these undrafted players actually contributing with this team, not only because we have a lot of holes to fill, but also because some of them got undrafted for certain reasons that really didn't have to do with play. Had to do with some off-the-field issues, maybe injury concerns, stuff like that. And then he said, all undrafted kids are working hard. Again, reiterates what I just said. Every rookie comes in so far behind, but I think the class has closed the gap to some degree, which is a good sign. But again, we don't know. He even talks about that we don't know how these people are going to perform until the pads come on for training camp, because there's going to be some players that are going to really excel and really perform well today and in OTAs and yesterday. And you'll notice that it's wide receivers, corners, and quarterbacks, because they don't have the pads on, and because there's no rush, and because the offensive line can't really block properly, and all that stuff, running backs and all that stuff can't really show because you don't have impact blocking and holes and gaps and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. He says that Fitz commands the huddle. Whoever's in with him is trying to make them better. And that's the veteran leadership that Ryan Fitzpatrick brings to this team. That is the moxie that dude has, because you even see in his post-press conferences, you even see in his reporter interviews, that the dude has just this like this charisma about him. He brings it into the huddle. This dude's, like I said, has been on a ton of teams, so he has a ton of experience. Harvard grad, super smart, knows how to read a defense. He's got that gunslinger mentality, though, where he's going to try to get the ball in there, which kind of bites him in the ass. But overall, he's got that smart mentality. He's a great quarterback to learn from. So it's good that Josh Rosen is with him, and potentially maybe, again, I'm not predicting things, but if we draft a quarterback next year, we'll be with Fitzpatrick to learn. But he does command a huddle, and he does command the team to make them better, which is good. It's really good to see. Again, we haven't seen a quarterback competition in a very long time, so it's nice to see one. It says it's too early to tell when it comes to the quarterback position. They won't know until they get into the nitty-gritty of camp. Again, pads, you get more of an understanding of the type of pressure they'll take on, get a more understanding of how they react to the pressure, whether they step up, whether they throw the ball away, whether they just take the sack, whether they check it down, all that stuff. So when it comes to the quarterback competition, I know a lot of you guys are asking me right now in the comment section, even in live streams, who do I think, Rosen or Fitz? And even Flores said it's too early to tell. We got to see when camp happens, and then we got to see in preseason. Because I think they'll probably name the starter for the week 3 game, which is televised. Super pumped about that. And you talked about that in the preseason schedule, and that came out even when the schedule came out, that our 3rd preseason game is going to be televised nationally, so I can watch it on TV, and I'm going to live stream it. Oh, where's August? August. Where are you? Then he says there's guys working in both groups. When they asked him about first teamers and second teamers and all that stuff, who is performing where. Yesterday I made the point to say that Rashad Jones started with the second teamers kind of as like a punishment. I didn't say necessarily punishment, but I said of, something in that aspect, but he corrected me, Flores, and said that they're all over the place. And I noticed that sometimes first teamers will be with second teamers, like Mika Fitzpatrick will be with second teamers, Xavier Howard will be with second teamers, Rashad Jones, second teamers. He interchanges them because he doesn't know who is what or who is sticking with who. So you can't really look into the competitions when it comes to who is playing with which team, except for third teamers. Third stringers normally is Ruddick. Ruddick is the third string quarterback, and Fitz is normally starting. But other than that, you can't really look into it. And then he talks about Laramie Tunsil. He says he's developing into a great leader, and he says that he has a chance to be a very good player in the league. And I feel like that has already been happening. I think he already is a good player in the league. So the fact that he thinks he has a chance to, I think he already is. And then he says he's hard on Gesicki because he sees a lot of potential. I think we all see a lot of potential in Gesicki. Gesicki has the potential to be a fantastic tight end. To me, personally, from what I've seen, he needs to understand and absorb and not be afraid of the physicality of football, of the impacts, of taking the tackles, of getting in there. He likes the finesse part. He likes the catching part and the flashy part, but it seems like to me, last season, I'm not talking about this season because I haven't even started yet, but last season he kind of avoided the physicality part of it, but the fact that he gained 15 pounds, I think he's really, doing what I want him to, which is good. Because Gesicki, he could be a really good guy. And then he says the starting quarterback decision is a collaboration between him and Chris Greer. Between him, Chris Greer, and Chad O'Shea, and maybe even the quarterback's coach slash head coach. He said that he was the Reaper in New England. And if you don't know what the Reaper is, the Reaper's job is essentially, if you watch Hard Knocks, and it's that third to fourth episode where they start cutting people. It's mostly the last episode. There's the guy that knocks on their door or calls them or meets up with them in the gym and says, hey, can you bring your playbook? The coach wants to talk to you. That's the Reaper. Essentially, their job is to take the players that are getting cut and bring them to the head coach so they can get cut. Essentially, Grim Reaper brings them to death, brings them to wherever. So he was the Reaper, which sucks because that's a hard job because you see some of these guys' dreams just go right down the pooper. And then he talks about Kenny Stills and Bryce Butler, and he said they'll be just fine. Bryce Butler was actually out there today. But let me get into that right now because now we're getting into the play-by-plays, but I got some little tidbits that I'm going to throw in like I normally do, the people that aren't there, some of the injuries, some news notes, as I like to say, and then we'll jump into it. So the first thing is it started raining when practice started. So they're going to practice in the rain again. Jesse Davis, they're moving him from right guard to right tackle. So they're really trying that experiment. One of you guys asked me a question, so I'm going to address that more in comment of the day. And then they waived cornerback Tyler Horton. It was more of a mutual understanding when they waived him that his interest in football wasn't where it wanted to be, and he's going to more into law enforcement. So good on him. Sometimes football isn't, your heart's not in it. So instead of just trying to force yourself through playing football just to make that money, it's better just to take the step back and not either put your reputation down the pooper or make yourself look like a pooper. Why do I say pooper so much? I don't know. One more time. Pooper. There's a new sign. Here's a picture. There's a new sign that says mental 4, physical 1. And it really reiterates and fortifies the TNT sign. But it's just Flores trying to show and tell these guys that football is more mental than it is physical. Physical, of course, because you have to do the physicality of football, but it's more, you got to understand the game of football. You got to understand the routes. You got to understand schemes. You got to understand defenses if you're on offense, and offenses if you're on defense. So you can predict plays and you can predict movements and understand it. So mental. Yeah. And then here's some names that aren't practicing today or aren't there today. Kenny Stills, Dwayne Allen, Durham Smythe, Albert Wilson, Pittman, Chase Allen, Tankersley. Charles Harris has a mitt on his left hand. That's been happening since OTA. Hopefully he can get that off and get back in there and keep doing better, because he has been doing better. Bryce Butler is there, but he's on the stationary bike, so he didn't do anything really today, but he's fine. He's fine. He probably just tweaked something. So let's jump right into it. Fitz is taking the first snaps, usual 7-on-7. Rosen throws a pick to Mika Fitzpatrick, who's with the second teamers. Again, that's what I'm telling you. They're interchangeable, so don't really look into who's with which team. But Rosen starts it off with an interception, and then Jesse Davis recovers a fumble from Kenyon Drake. Sucks. It's nice that Jesse Davis is there, but it is minicamp, so I'm not looking too much into the fact that Drake fumbled. Everyone fumbles. It also didn't help that it was raining, so I'm not looking too far into the fact that Kenyon Drake fumbled. It is what it is. You know, I've seen Kalen Ballage fumble in preseason where he jumped over a guy and just let the ball go. It happens. I don't think Kenyon Drake is bad or crappy. Tink Corradine blows up an end around where the receiver goes around. They did that a lot with Jakeem Grant. Tink Corradine blows it up. So these edge rushers are actually doing really well, making me feel a little bit better. A little bit better. Then Fitzpatrick, 70-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Parker behind Bobby McCain and Wiltz. Fitzpatrick is just showing. There's the race between him and Rosen, and he's just, you know, it has a lot to do with Rosen is still understanding, and he's still a second-year quarterback versus Fitz, who's, like I said, a vet. But Fitz is running away with this one. Preston Williams drops a pass, very easy pass, and you know where he's going. Head to the wall. Ran the wall, touch, came back. Mika Fitzpatrick with a pass breakup on Gesicki. Mika Fitzpatrick is really trying to have a better day today than he did yesterday. He had a kind of poopy day yesterday. I don't know why. I don't know why I say poopy so much today. I'm not saying poopy anymore for the rest of the video, I promise you. I don't know how long that promise is going to last. Chandler Cox opens a big hole for Ballage. Fullback, baby. Fullback. Makes me so happy. And then the whole defense had to run to the TNT wall. And it appears that they weren't ready for the fast-paced offense and the subs that were happening with the offense. So they got in trouble. Head to the wall. Touch it. Come back. Jones, great closing speed on a dump pass from Rosen to Wolford. Gets in there. Makes the tackle. Again, there's no tackles. They don't have pads or anything, so it's more like a pat. But Rashad Jones showing his veteran leadership and his veteran skills coming in. But again, I'm not talking about it. And then the D runs to the wall again. There were some good plays by the defense, and then the offense started taking over, so the defense is getting in trouble. Jakeem Grant, boom, drops a punt. That's just go. Go. Fitzpatrick to Grant, a nice sideline pass on 7-on-7, and then Rosen has a nice series on 7-on-7. They didn't really go into detail, but they just said, I noticed that too. Side note, I noticed that when I'm reading the play-by-plays and writing them down for you so I can tell you guys what's going on, they sometimes don't get exactly everything. And I think it's because things are happening so quick that they can't get everything, but God, I wish I was there. Hey, Miami Dolphins, if you're watching this, get me a press pass. I'd like to go to these things and live stream it so everyone knows. I'd get fired. But Rosen had a nice series, and Ruddick overthrows Gesicki. I noticed that the quarterbacks don't run to the TNT wall. I feel like the quarterbacks should run to the TNT wall. Cox dropped pass. Does a push-up. Doesn't run to the TNT wall. Wonder why. Wonder why. And then Fitz avoids pressure, rolls to the right, and hits Devontae Parker with the toe tap boop, boop, on the sideline. Nice play, very nice play. And Irwin catches a tipped pass, touchdown, but Fitz would have been sacked by a blitzing Bobby McCain. So McCain comes in on a blitz, would have sacked him, but obviously you can't hit the quarterback, so Fitz was like, screw it. Throws the pass, ball gets tipped, Irwin catches it for a touchdown, runs in for a touchdown, and then Fitz would have been, Ryan Fitzpatrick would have been sacked by Baker, back-to-back would have been sacks, and then they went into situational type plays. So it's 2nd and 2, Rosen with a nice pass to Isaiah Ford, 15 yards up the middle. That's Rosen's sweet spot, is the middle of the field, even though they're really forcing him to throw the outsides, and he's getting better at it. Then on a 3rd and 6, Rosen with a nice pass to Jakeem Grant for 10 yards. Rosen's starting to get it. Rosen's starting to get in the groove. 2nd and 7, Rosen, nice pass to Laird, wide receiver, on a slant. And 2nd and 9, Rosen, first down pass to Preston Williams, and then Rosen. That series, very, very nice. His 2nd straight solid series. If you remember, I said before he got on 7 and 7, he had a very good solid series of plays. I finally got to see one or read one, tell you guys about it. Another great solid series for Rosen. Kenyon Drake drops a touchdown pass right in front of from Fitz. Sucks. Drake's not having a good day today. And then Sam, I got this, guys. Aguavin. Yeah. I looked up a video on how to say his name. Sam Aguavin. That's what it is. Aguavin. With a pass breakup from Balaj. You guys, my boy Sam Aguavin. I might get his jersey because he's making the team. He's doing great. And then it's 1st and 11. Again, here's some situational stuff. 1st and 11, Nate Orchard, tackle for loss on a check down pass. Nate Orchard's having a good minicamp as well. 2nd and 5 on the 8-yard line. Fitzpatrick with a 5-yard pass to Preston Williams. Then 3rd and goal on the 5-yard line. Fitzpatrick overthrows Reese in the back of the end zone for what would be a touchdown. 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line. Now Josh Rosen's in with a 5-yard pass to Isaiah Ford. 2nd and 8 now. Rosen checks down to Mark Walton. 2nd and 6 on the 9-yard line. Devontae Parker, false start. But I think that the fact that it's like quick plays. They're trying to get these plays out and have situational stuff. He doesn't run to the TNT wall, even though he should have or done some push-ups. No false starts from wide receivers. Offensive linemen, a little bit understanding, still piss me off. Wide receivers, you shouldn't be false starting. 3rd and 6 on the 9-yard line. Hardage, unblocked, would have been a sack on Rosen if he could have tackled him. And then 1st and goal on the 7-yard line. Rosen, 2-wall forward, tight end, 6 yards. Didn't say where, but I'm pretty much assuming middle of the field. Like I said, his sweet spot. And then Armstrong, nice deflection covering Williams on a pass from Rosen. Defense is starting to pick it up a little bit. And then Rosen rifles a pass to Preston Williams in the back of the end zone. Would have been a beautiful touchdown, but Preston Williams drops the ball. They didn't say if he ran to the wall. But you better go to the Night Watch. Game of Thrones, get it? Because the Night Watch protects the wall. If you don't watch Game of Thrones, you probably are like, I don't give a shit. Ford beats Xavier Howard for a 35-yard pass from Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not going to call him Fitzmagic because they're both there, but he was kind of Fitzmagic to Ray. Because right after that, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 65-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Parker. He beat Rowe on it, just burned his ass. And then Rosen with a nice sideline pass to Horn, wide receiver Horn. Again, they're really making Rosen throw the sidelines because, like I said in yesterday's video, that's where he kind of struggles because the timing's off, so it's either, it's batted away or intercepted. So they're really starting to make him do that stuff. And then Sam Aguavin, I'm so proud of myself I got his name because I love the dude. I don't even care if he's undrafted or practice squad. I love the dude. Sam Aguavin almost picks Rosen for the 3rd time in the past 2 months. Told you guys, Sam Aguavin. Said his name right. I'm going to say it one more time just because I'm very happy I got his name. Sam Aguavin. There we go. Then Irwin with a 1st down conversion from Josh Rosen. This is my last page. I'm very sad. I like reading this, guys. I like talking about football to you guys. Hardage with a safety blitz would have sacked Rosen, but again, can't hit the quarterback. Don't hit the quarterback. When I used to play football, I would get in trouble in practice because I would tackle the quarterback. You're not allowed to do that. Chris Lamone drops a Rosen pick, so Rosen starts to struggle towards the end of practice. Sanders hits a 46-yard field goal as time runs out in their little simulation. It's the first time we've heard any type of field goal, special team stuff, but it's nice to hear he nailed the 46er. This dude can nail a 65er. Love our kicker. Dwayne Hendricks would have been a sack on Ruddick, but again, don't you touch the quarterback. And then finally, Ruddick with a 40-yard touchdown pass. It was a touchdown pass? No, just a 40-yard pass to Preston Williams. Trey Watson would have sacked, but guess what? Fullback picked up the block, and that's why fullbacks are important, and that's why I'm happy a fullback is on the team. But that is what happened today in mandatory mini camps, day 2. It's a good day. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed reading it. I barely slept, not because I was excited about it, but just because I just couldn't sleep. So I've been up forever, just constantly waiting for my Twitter to reload and so I can get all the information. Normally I wake up and I can read the whole thing, jot it down, and make this video. But I've been up, got about 3 hours of sleep, and I was just constantly pulling the Twitter down so it would load one by one by one. I felt like I was watching a game. It's very fun. My top performers for today, mandatory minicamp day 2. Ryan Fitzpatrick is killing it, guys. Killing it. Again, we'll see the difference when pads come on because right now they don't get much pressure, even though there was a few sacks today. But we'll see how he performs once he gets pressure and starts getting people in his face. Other one, Devontae Parker is having a very good offseason. Again, it's pajamas. It's pajama football, like Jason Taylor said. And whenever pads come on, he tends to disappear. But I always, like I said before, I thought that Devontae Parker is a good wide receiver and has a lot of talent. He's just got to stay healthy. What I mean by that is because if you notice, one of you guys commented how many games has Devontae Parker missed in his 5 years with us. Only 10, which isn't, that's not a lot. But he plays injured a lot, which then tends to hold him back physically. So he needs to just stay healthy, and I think he'll be great. And then my third is probably going to be Mika Fitzpatrick, just because he got the first pick of the day, and he's just really bouncing back from yesterday and doing a really good job. So the Fitzes and Devontae Parker. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of what Brian Flores had to say. Let me know what you guys think of the fact that Josh Rosen is doing better. He had 3 good series in a row. He's really growing. He's really starting to pick up this offense. He's really starting to pick up the game. Again, it's his second year. So I'm not hard on Josh Rosen. That's why I'm not like, oh, God, why did we trade for Josh Rosen? This is stupid. No, he's a young quarterback, and he's going to learn. It's going to take him a minute. Fitz is doing so great because he's a vet. So comment below and let me know what you guys think of all the play-by-plays. Let me know what you guys think again about what Brian Flores had to say. Who are your top 3 from today from what I told you? And let me get to one of you guys' comments of the day. And this comment comes from Lester Colebrook, and he says to me, who will play right guard if Jesse Davis plays right tackle? Also, how is Shaq Calhoun is doing? Jesse Davis stays at right tackle, which it seems like they're just testing things right now, but it seems like with the struggle that our free agent signing had, and Isaiah Prince is still kind of raw. Jesse Davis would probably be better suited at right tackle. He kind of played that more in college, even though he started as a defensive tackle, and then they moved him to tackle, and now he's a tackle. If he stays at right tackle, I think I could see Chris Reed being left guard and Dierder being right guard. And just to reiterate the whole Dierder situation, still hasn't signed his rookie contract. I'm hearing it's a money situation, which still boggles my mind because there's already a rookie wage scale. But yeah, he hasn't signed his contract yet, so we'll see what happens. But that's how I envision it. Laramie Tunsil, left tackle. Chris Reed, left guard. Kilgore, center. Dierder, right guard. Jesse Davis, right tackle. And then there's still some right tackles out there we can sign, like I think the right tackle that was on the Falcons. We could pick him up. There's still some decent right tackles if they notice that the right tackles are really struggling, if they know that Jesse Davis is really struggling. But he did good today, jumping on that fumble from Kenyon Drake. But yeah, I told you guys in the last video about the fan appreciation video. Yeah, I'm really thinking that I'm going to release the fan appreciation video on the 15th, which means I'm going to record it on the 14th, which is next Friday. So if you have any packages you want to get to me to be in the package opening for fan appreciation, try to get them to me by the 14th. That's when I'm gonna go to my P.O. box, which is below, and I'm gonna get all the packages and open it on the 14th. Again, you don't have to send me a package. If you wanna send me a letter, like a typed or handwritten letter, I'll read that on the channel. And then also I'm gonna ask you guys, I'm thinking the Wednesday before the 12th, I'm gonna ask you guys in a video to give me some questions to be on the fan appreciation video. I'm gonna pick one of you guys' questions to be the winner to win the DouglieDoWrong hat. But other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I was tweeting a ton of the videos where they were coming out and doing their thing. I retweet a lot of information, especially when some beat writers say something that piques my interest. I'll retweet it. So be sure to follow me on Twitter. One of you guys said if you wish I could post on Instagram when we're going live because they don't have a Twitter, I will. I'm gonna start posting on Instagram more. So be sure to follow both of them. Be sure to check out the Bit Boys. We're playing a ton of video games. We're going to be playing a lot of old games. Super Mario 3, we're going to start playing. We recorded that last night. I'm going to upload that for next week. So go over there, check it out. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. If you don't feel like you need to hit the subscribe button. But other than that, give this video a thumbs up. This is it. Tomorrow's last day of mandatory minicamps. Then there's a break. During that break, you're going to get a ton of content from me. I'm going to break down each position and the battles. I'm going to give you guys that skit idea that I have with the Dolphins. I have so many ideas. And then we have training camp, which you're going to get every day. You're going to get training camp videos from me when there is training camp. Then you got preseason, and then you got the season. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, it lets me know that you like what you see and tells me to keep doing what I'm doing. If you guys are watching this on DolphinsTalk.com, hello, welcome. I say this at the end of every video, but if you don't know, now you know. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Dolphins Talk, welcome. But yeah, be sure to subscribe. I got a ton of stuff planned for you guys, like I just said, even though it's going to get real dead and real quiet for about a month in all of football and all the NFL, where on NFL Network, they're going to be showing like best games and old games. Like that's what happens around this time after minicamp, is it gets real dead and quiet. Be sure to subscribe here because I will keep giving you quality content to keep you guys up to date and really not bored for this next couple weeks until training camp starts. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow with the last day of mandatory minicamp with another play-by-play and potentially Brian Flores press conference. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy. Fins up.